Do not get married until they do these three things. Let's check it out.
Yeah.
Okay. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video on the Biblically Feminine YouTube channel. My name is Mallory Hammond, and today I am joined once again with my husband,
David Hammond, that crazy guy that some of you guys like, some of you guys hate. But we'll be back in action, baby, round 2.
So as you can tell from the title of this video, today we're going to be giving you guys 3 things that you should absolutely be looking out for when courting your potential future spouse. These are 3 things that David and I personally were both looking for in one another in different ways, which we'll go more in depth with in this video. And you can look forward to also receiving a bunch of little wisdom nuggets and things that we've learned in our 2 months of marriage. I think we've actually been married 2 months and 1 day after today.
About, yeah. So we're veterans, take our advice. Quick disclaimer, guys, if you do not have one of these signs or if something's missing, we're not saying now don't marry them, they're bad. No, but these are 3 things that we try to think about that really were deal breakers, and I do believe they'll be deal breakers for you guys. So just be on the lookout for them. Again, none of us are perfect. Mallory and I fall short by a long shot, but again, the whole point of this channel is just to help you guys equip you for marriage.
The most important thing that I was looking for in my future husband, and as I was looking for in David when we were courting, is that if he could truly hear God's voice and if he had really sharp discernment. Like I said before, this was something that I was not going to waver on because I kind of had an intuition, and now I can say after being married for 2 whole months that this was in fact true. I wanted to marry somebody, or needed to marry somebody, that really was in tune with God's voice, because the Bible instructs women, when their husband is being disobedient to the word, they're still called to submit, basically to allow God to chasten and correct the husband. So I wanted to make sure, okay, even when he is disobedient, when I sit back and submit, I want to have the confidence that he is in fact hearing the correction and what is the word? Chastening from God.
So again, guys,
I'm just gonna pause a little bit here when she says she needed to marry a husband, or she wanted to marry this type of husband. You shouldn't be wanting to marry anyone. You shouldn't be longing for anyone in your life. You should only be seeking after what is right, and that is the kingdom of God. And if he sees fit, he will add a woman or a husband to your life. You shouldn't go look for it. And when you're dating that person, you should be saying this is your type. You shouldn't be saying, oh, this is the person that I'm looking for. This is the type of person that I want, because you have this imagination of who you want in your head, which all thoughts are all lies, and they come from the devil, the deceiver, the prince of darkness. And he will give you what you want, and it won't end well.
For men, I'm going to speak directly to men, but women as well. If you guys are following this path a lot further than most people, right, you're picking up the cross, you're being a disciple, because marriage, guys, is not for baby Christians. Like, I'll be brutally honest. Can it happen? Sure, but dude, you got a lot of stuff to clean up in your own life. It took Mallory and I about 4 years being on Paula and Paulina are just fully serving Christ. That was our last video. Link up here. Go check the last one. So guys, for the men out there as well as women, marriage is a very serious thing that usually comes a lot later in your Christian walk. Your first 3 to 4, maybe even 5 years really should just be serving the Lord. Like, you need to figure out and set your foundation like a tree.
3, 4 years. You should be serving the Lord your entire time in your life, not 3 to 4 years. The entire time in your life.
Spread your roots before you ever take on someone else, especially for men, because you're now leading her soul, right? My soul and her soul. So with that, in that monk mode or Paul Arc seat,
you shouldn't be leading her soul. I understand as a man you should be leading, provide, protect, and give her, a safe environment. But you're not the one leading her soul, because you can't even lead yourself. The only one that can lead you is God, and she should be seeking after God, so God can lead her as well. You can't lead her soul. Unfortunately, that's not true.
And as a man, you're really growing your spiritual discernment, your spiritual authority, your knowledge of Scripture, and from that, you should really be looking for a woman who's at that equal level. Meaning, if I'm discerning certain things, maybe that's with like certain sects of Christianity or LGBTQ or abortion or all these things, I'm going to make sure that my woman is going to be an equal reflection of that. Again, does that mean she has to know every political thing or scriptural thing? No, but the overall spirit. As in, I'll just give you an example, right? Let's just say Mormons aren't real Christians, okay? And she's going to be like, well, I think they are. Okay, then clearly we have very different discernment, and you as the man have to keep testing all these things. Now, again, do you have to be perfect? No. But as an overarching thing, you should be. One of the first things I noticed in Mallory is that...
Just to pause there real quick here, it says you should be learning the Bible and being knowledgeable about the Bible. This is the thing most Christians do. They read the Bible and they hold on to it. But when you hold on to it, God can't pour or reveal anything to you, because you're relying on your own intellect to tell you what the Bible is saying. Trust me, just read the Bible, Accept the Bible. Don't hold on to nothing. Don't try to remember nothing. And God will reveal it to you. He's not going to talk to you with a voice. No, he's going to reveal things to you. And that's how God works.
And this is just my personality. I rant to everybody. I don't want to say I deliberately push them away, but I'm very bold and unapologetic. I'm going to call it for what it is. And most people can't handle that. So I'm like, well, that's good for me. Not meant to be. But Mallory was able to handle all that and then also add on to that. So you can hear God and you're both equally yoked.
To add on,
I want to know how they hear God, because God is not a voice. So if they do see this video, leave me in the comment section or email me, tell me how you hear God. I generally would like to know, because from what I know, or what has been revealed to me, God is not a voice. He just reveals things to you. That's it. Have a way to see.
to one thing that David was saying, he was talking about how men are ultimately going to be the leaders of their future family, of their future wife. Being able to hear God's voice was proof to me that they were going to be able to lead me well. Which leads me into the second thing that I was looking for while I was courting David. This one may sound weird initially, but I was really testing to see if David had the capacity, the boldness, and the maturity to, one, correct me when necessary, and secondly, if he was able to receive correction, whether from myself or through that discerning of God's voice that he was getting. To give you guys a little bit of a practical example, there was a number of instances where I was maybe going to go out with friends, or maybe going to go to this event or whatever, and David would tell me, he was like, look, I can't tell you why. I don't have a good feeling about it. I don't think you should go to this. And so, one, he was testing me on his end of is she going to be obedient? Is she going to submit to this intuition that I'm having? And you know what? I found myself every time that I was obedient to that, not going to those events or not hanging out with those people, I realized his intuition, his discernment was spot on, where I couldn't see that those people, whoever they were, weren't having the best intentions towards myself, that there was something that unfolded really badly at those events that I was planning to go to but ended up not going to. And secondly, I believe part of being in the position of a leadership as a father, as a husband, is your ability to say no even when you don't want to, when it's hard. I was testing to see if I was kind of pushing boundaries a little bit, if he was going to be quick to correct me, kind of like how my dad would correct me as his daughter. Again, that may sound weird, but that was proof to me that he was going to be able to lead me even if things got hard. And that was proof.
Just gonna stop it here a little bit. When you're dating someone or courting someone, let them do whatever they want. You shouldn't be telling them what to do. They're not your wife. You're not married to them. Let them do what they want to do, because if you tell them not to do something and you're going to tell them why, and this is your standard and this is what you want from a woman, she's going to conform to what you want, not what. She's not working on herself to overcome the evil that is inside of her. She's conforming to what you want. That's called manipulation. That's called cunning. She will use that tactics to just do what you want to be with you because she wants to be with you. That's the devil telling you to tell her what you're looking for in a woman. No, just have a way to see, just get to know her, see what she's about. You're only correcting her so you can be in a relationship with her. And that's selfish. That's for your own selfish desire. If it's supposed to happen, it will just happen naturally. And you're relying on her to make you feel good, and she's relying on you to make her feel good. And if that's how the relationships start off, it won't last, because at some point you won't feel that same way, and feelings are not good to start a relationship off of in the first place.
To me that his ultimate priority was to please God and to be obedient to his commandments, not to please his wife or to please a woman.
Yeah. So here's the thing, and some of you guys
I agree with that. You should always be seeking after God and what is right, regardless if the woman is there or not.
Get offended by this.
Because if she knows you're dependent on her to be in her life, oh Lord have mercy on you.
That's fine. At the end of the day, you either serve man or you serve God. Our role as a husband is to serve God and protect our wives, right?
Just a quick thing there. You don't serve man or God. You serve God, or you serve the devil, which is of the desire of man.
Just 5:25, the Bible says to love our wives as Christ loved the church, self-sacrificially, meaning if push comes to shove, if something bad happens, I gotta step in front of that. And now, to a lot of people, maybe they think that's like a game or it's like funny. Guys, that, when it comes to it, is not fun. I'll be brutally honest with you. Andrew Tate, which a lot of you guys probably don't like, he's definitely not Christian, but he said something that was true. He said 80% of being a man in a relationship is just telling your woman no. And again, for a lot of you guys, you're gonna get butthurt, you're gonna think, oh, he's super controlling, but like, that's why you're single, okay? Adam's one job was to tell Eve not to bite the fruit, not to bite the apple. Men, whenever men fall, or whenever women fall, it's because man first didn't say no. Saying no, in 99% of cases, if you're a good, strong, biblical man submitted under Christ, is the most loving thing you can do. And we have this effeminate, egalitarian society where men are painted out to be these goofy...
Just to pause a little bit, it's not your job to always govern over your woman. No, she's gonna do what she's gonna do either way. That's why I tell you, don't tell her what you want, don't tell her what you're looking for, because she's gonna deceive you and conform to what you're looking for. She needs to work on herself. She needs to work on the evil that is inside of her, and you need to do the same. If you can't control her, and if you try to control her and tell her what to do, you only do it because you want to be with her. Adam listened to the woman because he stopped seeking after what is right. He wanted the woman, and the woman have made the devil her God because she listened to the thought and did what the thought tell her to do. And now, because of that, we're still in that same cycle in society, because even though you might be Christian man, when you get in a relationship, because your mom have traumatized you and you haven't overcome your mom, you become a boy in the relationship and you do things to please your mom because you resent her and you think it's love, but it's not love. It's actually hate. And you touched on another point, but I forgot what it was.
Little dads, it's equivalent to like giving your kid candy all the time. Your kid's like, but dad, I know I've had 30 donuts and I'm about to die of diabetes, but I want another one. Your job's to say no, okay? And that's what I did. That's completely fine. And if you can't do that as a man, you're more than likely not ready for marriage. Again, not because we hate her, but because we love her. We don't attack the thing because we hate what's in front of us. We attack it because we love what's behind us. Right. So grab your nuts, full send.
Just to further add to that, bringing it back biblically, we see in Hebrews where God, the most loving being, not even that he has love, he is.
Oh yeah, he did say, love your wife like how you love the church. And I think a lot of people do take that out of context. When he says love your wife like you love your church, it's like your church is inside of you. And you shouldn't judge yourself, and you shouldn't judge your wife. When you're one with God and you truly understand peace and love, where it comes from, you will see what's happening within other people with their church, and you won't judge them. Just like when your wife has the hell and it comes out of her, you won't judge her because you understand. Now you have true love and true peace. You won't judge her, you won't have resentment towards her, and you won't hold on to it because you know what was happening within you is happening within her. And she has the church inside of her as well. And that's how you show her love. You love her just like you love your church.
Love, he chastens, he disciplines those that he loves. So again, that was a really big marker for me of like, okay, he's not just about loving me in the way that the world sees as love, which is tolerant. He's actually very quick to lay his foot down, just as God is. That showed me that he was a man after God's heart, that he valued the principles of God over the things of this world. And I love too how you mentioned it was also a sign of being a good father in the future. If I'm thinking about today's world where it's a bunch of parents, and specifically the father, they've taken a seat back and they've allowed the kids to do whatever they want. I want kids in the future.
True.
We will have kids in the future. And I wanted to make sure I was going to marry somebody that had, I don't want to say the balls.
The spine. The gonads.
Yeah, I'll let him say
the kahunas.
So what they're getting at here is that I understand what they're saying, but the root of the issue starts in the family. It starts with the dad and it starts with the mom. Because guess what? Because the man is so weak, he was raised by his mom and he didn't have a strong dad. He grew up just like his dad. He's made the woman his God. And now the woman runs the relationship and she raised the kids in her image. She imposed her will onto the kids. And the kids grew up to be just like the mom, angry, have this all these feelings and emotion, and they act on the feeling and the emotion. Instead, the dad should have been one with God, seeking after what is right, have true love from God, so he can pass that down to the woman, and the woman were able to raise his kids properly. But that's not happening in society, because listen, what Adam and Eve did, it's still happening, because men are still listening onto the woman. And anytime women go into leadership or run a relationship or take control, destruction follows. It's not my word. It's the word from God. It's the word that is written in the book. And he did mention something about being knowledgeable about the Bible, da da da. Yes, read the Bible, understanding. I did touch on this earlier, but remember, the letter kills. The letter kills the spirit, because you're looking at it intellectually instead of spiritually. It's not physical, it's spiritual. Remember that.
The nuts.
Sure, I wanted to marry somebody that had the spine, for lack of a better words, to lay his foot down and tell the people in front of him no.
Quick bonus tip, guys. As a man, be okay offending your woman, okay? That's going to sound very counterculture. And as a woman, this is going to sound bad, but kind of going back to the first thing, guys, this is a little ish test you can tell. You as a man, you need to throw these things to your woman. And again, we're not always going to be 100% correct, but we are seeing if she's going to submit to that. Because if she's not, if a woman, there's so many feminist Christians, a lot of you guys are still feminists in disguise, or you've been brainwashed with, right? A little bit of leaven loaves the whole loaf. If this woman is continuously, no, I'm my own lady, then do not get married, okay? You do not need a husband. You're your own husband, sweetheart. Go get hit by a car. Go to that nightclub where those guys do not have your best interest, okay?
But that's most women in church, because the men are so weak. They're scared of their woman. The women still lead a relationship, and they grow up their daughter to be strong, masculine, and not feminine. That's just what it is.
And
so you guys are going looking for Christian women that are actually feminists.
As men, it's really our fault. You guys need
That's
to man
crazy.
up. Like, be okay being
He's
offensive.
right on
to
that
Who
point.
do you fear at the end of the day, man or God? Boy.
The third thing that I really made sure David had was
At this point, they actually fear the woman, not man. That's crazy.
the maturity to not hold a grudge, and I guess to lump it in there, also had the skill to kind of just quickly move on from things. That doesn't mean shove it under the rug, but quickly move on from things, and would make me laugh or make himself laugh, stuff like that. This probably wouldn't have been something that I put at a very high importance level when we were courting, but now after being married for 2 months, I realize there's a lot of moments, really just like Satan trying to attack you and bring, what is it called?
Strife, division.
Yeah, to bring strife and division in a marriage. And I found this aspect of David, this skill or the gift or ability that he has, to be so beneficial, because he has the maturity to be able to address things head on, like we said before, but to also not hold on to it. He's not holding these things over me and bringing things back up constantly. And then on top of that,
That's what it actually means to love your wife like you love the church, not resenting her or hold anything against her or judge her, because you understand what's happening inside of her. And he shouldn't be trying to work things out with you, because he didn't do anything wrong, and vice versa. It was already inside of you. You just didn't know, and because you're with him now, it's being shown to you, and you think he's the one that caused it. But no, it's something that you need to work on, because there's some issues there that you need to work on. And for him to try to make you laugh and feel good about the situation, that is not good, because the situation is not really being adjust, right? Because you're relying on him to make you feel good. And because he make you feel good, he gives him a false self of fulfillment. And if you make him feel good, it's giving you a false self of fulfillment as well. And that is not good.
somebody that constantly makes me laugh.
Not saying you can't marry the person and in that time you all will change, but 90% of the time, or 9999% doesn't work.
So even if we had like a really rough conversation or like a really rough moment we had to work through things, the next like 2-3 minutes, we're laughing with each other. We're very lighthearted. So again, that doesn't mean that we don't take this stuff or our relationship seriously, but one of the best advice for marriage that I got before even courting David was to really enjoy the moment and to really enjoy just laughing with the person that you're with. Because if you're, sounds bad, but like if you're stuck with somebody for the rest of your life, like you want to be able to enjoy it.
Yeah, and what I would say, guys, is it really just comes down to a mature level of communication.
If you're stuck with someone, you should be able to enjoy it. So it seems like I said, they're relying on each other to feel good in a relationship. It won't, that most of the time it does not work. I'm not saying not all the time. Most of the time, because you're relying on that to make you feel good. When if you're already at peace with yourself or one with God, you wouldn't rely on external things. You wouldn't rely on external people and how they make you feel to make something work.
Communicating effectively is saying something very directly and you finding that resolve pretty quick and then moving on. Like, as men in particular, we do not have time to B-word and complain and to hold grudges, dude. It shows like you're not doing enough as a man. If you're running businesses, you're running ministries, you got stuff going, hey, let's fix this, we're good, on the same page, okay, awesome, next. And you slay the next demon. So it's fine. Yeah, again, guys, this just goes to show, as men and women, we don't say this because we hate them. Like, yes, at times there's going to be emotions, that's normal, but like ultimately it's because you love them. And you both want to move as efficiently as possible. And in these 2 months now, I know it's only been 2 months, it's been about 5 months total, Mallory and I are much more congruent. Yes, we still have our little icks and our little things like that, but things, it almost just kind of view it like, I don't know, something coming together. It meshes slower and slower and slower because we're just resolving these things. It's like, hey, you leave your toiletries out, whatever. I was like, okay, all right, grab, hey, the towel's out, okay, you're right, and then vice
That's kind of crazy, though.
Firstly, with your voice, when we're around people, we got to watch this. Okay, and if you love the person, you'll be obedient. What does Jesus say in John 15? If you love me, keep my commands, right? And 14:15, and that is to love God and love your neighbors yourself. As many Christ, as followers of Christ, we're the same way.
When God said love yourself and love thy neighbor, I think a lot of people put emotion and feelings into it. It's not about love and emotion. It's about understanding with compassion. That's what it means, and staying in the presence of God. Like, God has nothing to do with feelings and emotion. That is not the nature of God. That is the nature of the devil, prince of peace, prince of darkness, Satan. Because if you can't have the feeling without going to thoughts and judging. You have to judge yourself to get the feeling, and then the feeling gives you the action. Or you have to look at someone, judge them, and then you get an idea or a feeling about them. That is not good, because it's going to lead you to do things. And because there's so much I want to touch on, but I can't because of the time of the video. But just remember, don't go on your feelings, because feelings change. They're the deceiver. They're from the deceiver. You'll feel good now, but in the end, you won't feel good, because it's going to give you a thought, then give you another one. It's going to lead you to destruction.
Right? If we love each other, we're going to try to be obedient to each other. Not that we're God, but love is an action. It's not just a feeling. Too many times we have this Hollywood, oh, gushy. Okay, I'll tell you what, man, when she's not looking the best and you are being an absolute, okay, you're not going to have that gushy feeling, but we're still called, right? There's different definitions of love. I believe it's agape, which is it's that selfless love. It's not just an emotion, it's an action, which is something we are both learning. Amen.
Yeah, I think agape is agape.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. To be honest, they've probably been doing this before me. This is just recent for me, but everyone's journey is different. Some's journeys are faster, some journeys are slower, and they're learning, because God did say, who has ears to hear my voice will hear it, and then they will get understanding. So everyone's spiritual journey is very different, and I understand that. They're still learning, right?
On love, right?
I believe so. I believe it's the best one. There's like storge, which is the sexual one, agape, and then Felique or my girl Felique, gonna do my nails. That's our daughter's name, Felique.
Heck no.
Her
name's gonna be Faith. Yeah. Girl's gonna be Faith, boy's gonna be Christian. To finish,
That's crazy though. Man, remember to always lead. Never listen to the woman, because if you listen to the woman, you will suffer for it.
I just wanted to add a little bit from what David was saying. It really comes down to maturity. Like, even if you're not feeling great, even if you're not feeling
the sparks,
even when you don't feel
That's
like
crazy.
doing what you know you should be doing, get over it. This is kind of turning more into like marriage advice, but like I feel like it's even courting where you cannot be so immature that you let your emotions and your feelings like run you. I think that's a truth to like life in general, but I have found myself, whether it was in the courting phase or in marriage, where as a woman specifically, because we are more emotional, that's a fact, biologically, biblically, any feminist has
100%, because you're the devil's daughter. All women are emotional creatures because they're made a devil their god.
triggered by that. Just stop. But I feel this temptation often to kind of just loathe in my feelings and stay mad at him. But again, because I chose a good man, or at least I should say, like,
See what I'm saying? That the feeling is the devil's nature, is not from God.
God led me to a good man. He's been really, really good at getting me out of that state. But I also have to make the decision when he's trying to make things more lighthearted.
That's
and
not
making
good.
me laugh, like right after we've solved the problem. I have to make the choice to not be a jerk, I guess you could say, and choose to just like let it go. To be like, okay, it's solved, it's done. I'm not going to be dramatic.
Same goes with me and men.
That's not good though, because if he's the one bringing you out of that state, which means you're not working on yourself to overcome it by yourself. He's the one doing it for you, and unfortunately, he can't even help himself. So how is he gonna help you? That's because, listen, the woman is responsible for herself, and you, the man, you're responsible for your own self to seeking after God and the kingdom, and he will, because God is in the middle of it. Everything will work out perfectly. But when you're the man pushing it onto the woman for her to figure it out and deal with it, it won't work, because you're only doing it so you can get something out of it. You're doing it so you can feel good, and you're doing it so she will work on herself so you can be with her, which is because it's forcing her to do it. And she's only going to conform to what you want so you guys can be together. But in the end, unfortunately, it never works out, because she's not truly, or the man or the woman is not truly working on himself to seek after what is right first.
And guys, sometimes when we bring down that iron rod and we do some stuff, I have the tendency to, kind of like lash out a little bit. And, that's fine. Men, the majority of problem with men is you guys can't lash out. You have a lack of that. Everything is it okay, baby cakes?
If you're a man and you're lashing out, you still have the spirit of your mom inside of you. You need to go and forgive your mom and dad for what they did to you, so you can get rid of that anger. Because anyone that has anger, anyone that has feelings, anyone that have hatred, they're your enemy. They'll turn on you like this. That's why God said, don't quick to be friends or hearted with a person that is quick to be angry or something like that. Whatever. I don't study the Bible. I have an idea of what the Bible says. I don't hold on to it. There's no point in holding on to it. But yeah, you need to forgive your mom and dad, because you still struggle with hatred. And because of that, you're looking for love from a woman that she doesn't have. A woman doesn't know how to love. They don't know how to love. It's hate that they call love.
You want to take the lead, and sometimes, it goes with both of us. Like, I can kind of, my flesh wants to kind of like hammer it in a bit more, but it's like, it's done. Hey, we figured it out, and like, I do this because I care about you, and vice versa, guys. And the last thing I'll say too, for all the feminists getting butthurt as well, God chastens me probably 10 times harder than I chasten her. So if you're getting whatever you feel, it goes both ways, right? That's why it says, wives, submit unto your husbands as unto Christ. The best thing for your woman will make different videos is to pray for your husband, because then God will pull out his little biblical belt and just whip my butt, and as an obedient son, I'll try to do my best.
Yeah, and I can testify again. I think it was the first point that I brought, where I needed to make sure that he could really hear God's voice, and he also had a heart of humility to be able to accept correction from God. Again, I can testify. There's been times where he has said and done things that I did not like, and I felt in my spirit it was wrong. But you know what? The Bible says, again, wives, be obedient and submit on your husbands, even when they're being disobedient to the word. So I was like, okay, Lord, this is your son. You're going to handle this. I'm not going to try to correct him in my pride. Now, I just want to clarify, if you're being in an abusive, physically abusive relationship.
I'm glad that she understands that it's not her job to correct her husband, because man should not listen to a woman, because you will suffer for it. But when she said she knows he's doing something wrong, she's judging him, which is not good. You should just understand what is happening and just, okay. But when you judge, there's feelings behind it. There's resentment. And that is not love from God. You should just be understanding.
relationship, I think that's a different story. But I'm talking about what is that?
Because you know what is happening inside of them, we're happening inside of you, and that's why you can understand, and that's love and compassion.
Yeah, don't do that.
Oh yeah,
Don't hit them. We don't hit.
yeah,
Unless you, like, tickle them and stuff and, like...
yeah. Or you play
well,
fight.
Yeah, play fight, but don't actually, like, hurt them where they're like, stop! Have a safe word or something. Especially when you get jiggy with it. I'm kidding.
Oh, what does that mean? What does that mean?
Can mean what?
Jiggy.
Jiggy when you're in the bed.
Oh my gosh.
Have a-
I also had the assurance and confidence to be able to do this because, again, I knew he was a man that heard God's voice. And sure enough, this past 2 months, there was times where I would submit these requests onto God, and like the next day or the next 2 days or even sometimes maybe a couple weeks, David would just naturally get better at these things, or he would end up apologizing for these things. Like, hey, I realized I've been too harsh in this, or too extreme in this, or not loving enough in this area. And then it also wasn't just words, like his actions would also follow. So that's why that was I don't know what I'm saying.
Green
but-
flag.
That's it.
So guys, that is it. We hope you all enjoyed it. Again, I know sometimes we come across as a little, especially me, a little crude or a little kind of like brat.
Well, that's the end of that video. Let me know what you think of their advice, especially when it comes to couple and being in a relationship. You shouldn't be going to looking for a relationship in the first place, because you go look for it. That's the desire of the flesh, and the devil will give you what you want because that's his nature, right? It's going to tell you you want this and you're going to go look for it. With God's nature, you're just seeking after what is right, and that's about it. And if God sees that you need a man or a woman in your life, he will add one to it naturally. And they'll come perfect. There won't be fights, there won't be argument, because you both are working on yourself and seeking after what is right. And you will understand when things happen. But let me know.